I think it was freezing up on your guys' end, but hopefully we can get back rolling to what we were just talking about. Um, we were just discussing that the patient, um, I mean, to elicit the relaxation on feeling of relaxation on the patient, the practitioner also has to be in the right state of mind and has to
Right.
be relaxed as well. And through Mentastics, the simple body movement, the gentle movement that we can do on ourselves,
Hmm.
it kind of better prepares us before going in with the patient. And say we're feeling stressed in any one body part, we can, you know, take take a break from the table, step back, pause for a little bit,
Hmm.
and then we can do our thing, do a couple shimmies or shakes, part of the Mentastic exercises, and then get once we feel calm, centered, and feel like we're ready to go back into the table work, we then return to working on the patient. So
Yeah.
um, it really matters. Trigger is a thing where it really matters where you are as a practitioner as well. And like I said, you can't give what you don't have. So
Right.
um, I think that's a really cool aspect about it that sometimes people in other professions or things don't really focus on too much because they're worried about is what the patient's feeling, how they're feeling, and they kind of define themselves by the result
Hmm.
of how the patient's feeling when they don't really take into account how they're feeling, um, how they're feeling doing the treatment. Because when you talk about quality of treatment, in the end, you have to feel willing to and in the right state of mind and wanting to give your patient the best possible experience. And you
Absolutely.
can't do that if you're not in the right mental state, emotional state,
Hmm.
even physical state is also an important thing as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. And you did bring up massage therapy a little bit earlier. And one of our viewers does want to know what's the difference between massage and Traeger.
Well, like massage, I know they get like right into the muscle, like full contact. Like with Traeger, you're just doing like light movements, like squeezing, rocking, and like pulling just a little bit, just like just it's mostly just to get the patient into the relaxed state, but also it's not really like it's kind of I would say it's kind of the opposite like tempo of massage. Massage is very intense, while Traeger is way more relaxing.
Much more gentle,
Yeah,
like you were saying.
there's not a whole lot of super deep tissue, constant
Hmm.
uh deep tissue work like uh massage, but there's also some compression aspects, some tissue work, but it's not as deep and as constant as massage usually is. And I think it's a good alternative for those who want to relieve stress in a way that it's not so forceful. Because
Hmm.
sometimes people can see massage as too forceful and too harsh, and I think trigger is a great modality for them to
Yeah.
try out.
Especially if they're an older patient, like they need to be tended to like a lot differently. Like massage is probably not the right way to go about like healing them. So or just treating, um, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So something for everybody out there,
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing. That's what we're all about. We're just trying to expand our tool belt as long as it can be.
Hmm.
So whatever you got, I have something for it. And Traeger has been our first step in the door for that. It's gonna be followed by physical therapy, the dry needling, acupuncture. We're not completely sure, or we both decided what kind of direction we want to move towards after physical therapy. But um, diet is also another thing I've
Hmm.
also paid a lot of attention to and want to uh, get to help people with more. So there's really so many things that I'm wanting to learn more about and experience and see in order to help everyone. So um, there's pretty much is it's limitless right now for me. I'm really just trying to see what's out there and see what works best for each technique and modality. And the thing is that, of course, like we said, there's something we're trying to make it where it's something we have something for everyone,
Yeah.
because not everyone can do or is willing to do a certain treatment. So
Yeah.
that's why we have all these other not backup ones, but other
Mhm.
ones that may be effective or more effective than the one that they were not willing
Yeah.
to do.
Because treatment's not going to work if they're fighting it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they have to be comfortable with
Yeah.
it.
Also, like, I think learning Traeger, like, having the 30 patients also teaches us how to like deal with patients like for the future too. Like, we Traeger advocates for us like asking the patient like, how does this feel, or like, is this okay?
Mhm.
Or like say that I'm moving too fast, like the tempo, like they'll say, and then they'll let us know like, oh, it's a little too fast. Like we'll tone it down a little bit and just
Mhm.
like go according to how they feel.
Yeah. Kind of building your muscle memory in
Mhm.
a way, in like the bedside manner, so to
Mhm.
speak, right?
Yeah, and feedback. I like Traeger in the way that it emphasizes feedback constantly, so that I'm really getting to know if you're having a good feeling from the work that I'm doing, and that you're feeling okay, that my hands are not, invasive in any way, shape, or form, and that you feel as comfortable and relaxed and as good as possible when I'm working with you. Because sometimes being too invasive or doing certain movements that are uncomfortable um, can really throw off a person
Right.
and make the whole experience uncomfortable
Mhm.
or just shocking to them. And by you constantly asking feedback as a practitioner, and a trigger, I stressed this for us during our learning experience, you constantly asking for feedback really shows that you care,
Mhm.
and it just betters your experience and your delivery of the treatment overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
We also have somebody asking, when do you know Traeger is the right therapy, and how, as PTs, will you integrate it into a session if I have an appointment?
Um, I would say, like Traeger, you can use like what I'm gonna do in the future. Like you can use Traeger as like something to like find out the problem, but also even in like a regular session, if you know like several different things, I know like the rocking and the relaxed movements really help like the patient get into the state that you want them to. So like you could always do it at the start, and also like maybe like ease into like the more like finer things, like, or like things that are more like a little bit more intense.
Mhm. Absolutely. And if I have a stomach issue, would Traeger help? How about a migraine?
So I would. So we don't know everything because since we're only level one students, I still because trigger is really based on the feeling that you
Mm-hmm.
have. Um, I can't really describe this feeling besides using words such as relaxation, easing, and things like that until someone actually experiences what it is to feel that type of relaxed state that we're giving to the person. But I feel like it could help so many things, including stomach issues and migraines, because we're not only connecting I mean, we're connecting to your nervous system as well, not just um, physically what you're seeing.
Mm.
So we're not fully aware of how to approach all of these things yet, but I'm pretty sure Traeger is so diverse that it can uh,
Mm.
help with or teach movement in a way for the body to deal with multiple things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like even getting feedback from like patients that I've worked on. They've said that like they felt some movement in their stomach after like this one part where you target the stomach area, and they felt like some release or like some movement in their stomach, maybe helping their digestive system.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys start to learn more, you'll be able to help, like, kind of target what exactly people are coming in for. But I think, trying not to butcher anything, so bear with me.
Mhm.
You were saying that where you're at right now with your level one treatments, it's more so like a universal kind of like a almost like a one size fits all kind of a movement that you go through kind
Yeah,
of
because
thing?
it's just a general protocol. It's
Right.
just we have the certain movements and body parts that we address in our
Mhm.
protocol. It the flow of the protocol is dictated by like how they've taught it to us.
Mhm.
Usually Traeger is done, and all treatment is done by, first assessing, diagnosing, and things like that, and getting a feel for um the person's body.
Right.
But the way or the level that we're at, we're just uh um treating the patients as through the flow of the protocol that we've been taught.
Right.
So it's just front to back that we do. It's just two positions. We work the body from the head to the feet in the supine position, which is facing up, and then the prone position, which is face down.
Mhm.
And then that's pretty much the tools that we have right now. But um, you were right in that you're saying once we progress more in the levels
Yeah.
that we're going to be able to see things, feel things, and be able to uh, better target
Yeah.
what's actually going wrong
Yeah,
with the person.
absolutely. But even with, the skills that you have right now, still having that positive feedback and hearing like the things that people might come in to be like, "Hey, I have gut issues. Can you help me?" And just using the general protocol that you have right now, you've still been able
Yeah,
to make things
that's the cool
happen.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, like we said, 48 hours in uh it doesn't really of course when people are packed it into the 8 days, I mean the 6 days for 8 hours, like I said,
Mm,
it seems like a lot of coursework, but it's really not when you compare it to treatments that require super extended and long amounts of hours put in. um it's shown to be really effective, especially for the time that we've spent learning it.
right.
We're it's kind of cool that we're able to get this reaction and give these people these certain types of feelings only with the 48 hours of learning, and then um, however many hours so on that we practice on the people.
Right.
And it if you think about it, it really hasn't been that much time, and we're able to
Mhm.
do these kinds of things.
Testament to the skill.
Hmm.
Do you like this therapy versus what you learn in your college program?
So far we haven't learned too much like when it comes to body manipulation, but like I would say that well, I would get to know it like when we go to our graduate school, but like so far like it's like the most interesting thing I've done like regarding our expertise.
Yeah, I agree. We don't we're still in the undergraduate stage, so it's a lot of the general courses.
Mm,
The course that I've taken that kind of goes into physical therapy and rehab is called exercise prescription, and it just kind of teaches you like the foundations of strength training and conditioning.
mm,
So how you work out, how you schedule your workouts, how you program your workouts. Um, of course, I think that's good. It's very different because one is like a personal thing where you're exercising,
right.
and then the other is like a manual therapy. But even those two courses that I've seen, Traeger has shown me like the relationship between um, performance and your body awareness. Because, like I said, we're kind of teaching the body how to move, or teaching the body new movements, which in the end will promote body awareness. And the more aware of you are of your body in space and relative to how your eyes see it,
Mm,
and it really determines your coordination, how
yeah.
you move, things like that. And I've noticed because we both do sports. Right now we train mixed martial arts,
Mm,
and we also did soccer for a very long time. And the thing I've noticed with Traeger is that I'm more body aware, like I said, so that makes me more comfortable in doing certain movements, um, knowing what movements I can do
mm,
and what movements are a little more riskier for my body and what
yeah.
I'm prepared to do.
So, like, in a way, is it almost like helping to prevent injuries?
Yeah, I would say it is helping to prevent injuries because the more secure you feel in the way you're moving, especially with when you're doing more advanced things seen in sports, I think having, first of all, the relaxed state that it gives you makes you comfortable in the first place. That's why I think Mentastics is even a good thing to do um, during your warm up or before you go into a match, a game, whatever it is that you go into. I think it's helpful because you not only relax yourself mentally, emotionally, but then you're also um, kind of feeling out your body and your mind kind of align into one so that your movement is calculated and it's precise. It's not how I put it is when your body and your mind are too far apart, you're not going to move in the way that you want to.
Mhm.
And the more we can get those two things aligned together, you can move precisely, more calculated, and pretty much in the exact way you want to do.
Yeah.
Another thing, like with setting like the patterns straight that have been developed over like the years, our teacher actually told us a story where he had a patient who was in the military, but he fell off like a helicopter, and his leg really had some issues. And when he was laying on the bed, um, and our teacher lifted his leg, like he felt no weight at all on the leg because all the muscles were contracted because it was in such a like intense state. Like the mind is just telling it that it's not like a good place to relax, you know. But after holding it there for 10 minutes, his leg, it like completely dropped in his hand, and all of the muscles seemed to relax.
Oh, wow.
That's why I think you asked the question about how we're going to integrate it into our own practices. I think rehab patients, especially those that have had like severe injuries, I think it's a good place to apply because what I've seen in physical therapy school and in our undergraduate program, excuse me, uh, is that they approach rehab in the way of, finding out what's wrong, starting with little strengthening movements and things like that. So it's pretty much what they do is they try to get the mobility back, range of motion back, through kind of exercises.
Right.
And that's why I was talking about the exercise prescription course because they teach principles that also apply to rehab. But then what I think is cool about Traeger is that it provides a new side of it in that it addresses not only the your physical strength and your ability, oh, and your mobility in whatever injury you had before or whatever part of your body it is, but it also addresses the mental and emotional aspect because some people during rehab still have those motor patterns or like muscle memory that keeps them away from doing certain movements.
Yeah, or even
And
like how people, like, let's say you know that your knee hurts. Your knee always hurts if you go up the steps.
mhm.
So you tend to kind of drag that leg behind. You put
Yeah, or
most of
have
the
a
weight on
limp.
the
That
other
yeah,
leg, like
exactly.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so getting rid of those things, restoring the body's confidence into moving the way it used to before, because like it's scary to do that. Like you
Yeah.
said, the reason you limp is because it hurts,
Mhm.
and when it hurts, of course, it's not a good feeling. So it's scary to, be in constant pain, and to be able to relieve something like that, I think
Yeah.
is really important.
Absolutely. You're almost like taking away that helpless feeling in a way. I'm sure a lot of people out there know that feeling
Yeah.
too
And
well.
also, like even get like I think I advocate for like even like sports athletes like getting trigger like I would say even just once a month is will help like just prevent them from getting injured again because
Mhm.
like in sports you can get injured many times like and just being like making sure you're just healthy is
Yeah.
like overall good.
Absolutely. And right along the same lines, you always see those players that get right back out on the field too soon.
Mm-hmm.
They're babying that same leg or same arm that they might have just hurt.
Yeah.
You're right. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Keeping things kind of like moving in the right direction of healing instead of just playing through the pain.
Hmm.
It's hard to stop. How do you encourage people just to stop?
Um, I I think it has to do a lot with their mental state. Um, Finding out why they're so confident in going back and not stopping is is a good place to start, because why would you feel confident if you're experiencing so much pain? Um, Educating them
Hmm.
first of all, so they know the risk that they're taking. They know what they're getting into, what could possibly going wrong is probably the first and one of the most important steps, because sometimes they really don't know what they're getting into. So it's the practitioner's job to inform them of all the possible, scenarios, what the best scenario is, what
Hmm.
not so good or risky scenarios are. And then I think after that, going into the specifics of whatever the pain is for the person is important. And then that can tell me which tool under my tool belt I can whip out and use for you.
Absolutely. I mean, ooh, can I be asleep while having a Traeger session? Will I still get the benefits or should I be awake? So I know you said a lot of people tend to fall asleep and you can still work on them, but is there more benefit to being awake during the session or can they get the same result either way?
Yeah, I think it's the same. It's the same result either way. It's just like obviously when you're asleep, you're in a fully relaxed state,
Mm,
but the muscles are still like there. You're still like you're still like working against the tissues like that are like causing that problem from like many years before.
right.
But I think it's still like it's the same effectiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that if someone said they've had a specific issue somewhere, or they've had a certain trauma done to that part, they'll still have, well, they'll be fully asleep,
Hmm.
and they'll still have those twitch like reactions um that they would if they were awake. Like, say if, oh, I know I have an ACL injury. If someone touches me like that, I'm going to resist it or react in a certain way because that's uncomfortable for me.
Right.
That thought process is also subconsciously happening as well. So when you're sleeping, your body is still subconsciously having that mindset as well. So it's still going to resist and do the same movement patterns like it did before when I'm working on it, or when I'm working on you when you're asleep.
Right.
So, like you said, it's pretty much going to be the same either way.
Still voting for the nap.
Yeah.
I think most people just need a nap
Yeah.
most days. And I mean, if you can nap and heal, who are we to fight it?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what better way to heal?
So when you have people that have these injuries and like they are babying that area, they're naturally going to tense up. How do you encourage them? Is it just the movement itself to relax, or is it like a verbal thing? Is it patience?
It is patience because you don't want to like rush the patient into
Mm-hmm.
feeling like oh I have to feel this way like in the moment, but like kind of talking them through it I think helps, and also doing things that are like really slow, like say I'm rocking the leg, I'll do it like how many times, like 2 times slower, like just
Right.
to like let them get the feel of it,
Mm.
like to make sure like we don't want them to feel like Traeger is also like you don't want them to feel like they're getting hurt like during the session, like massage you'll feel like a lot of pain in that certain area. Traeger is like complete opposite.
Mm.
Yeah, I've had this actually happened to me in when I had my first Traeger session. So, I didn't know that wasn't relaxed, or it was my leg that Michael was working on. Um, I didn't know that I wasn't relaxed, or was kind of resisting his movement, and he gave me like the verbal cue to, let go or let him take my leg through that certain range of motion, or during or through the rocking motion. And I think it's a mix of both. You kind of have to approach it with your hands as being gentle and trying not to force anything. But then when you feel the body is stuck and not willing to move in a certain way,
Mm.
you can also add in those verbal cues to let that person know that they're resisting that motion,
Yeah.
and then they can consciously think that, and then let their leg relax,
Mm.
and then it can let the work happen.
Yeah. You have to like force the factory reset
Yeah,
sometimes.
so it's like it's kind of it's not super forceful. The of course the motion is not forceful, but just just making you aware that, oh, you're stopping here when you could go here. So it's
Yeah.
like kind of letting them know, and my reaction was like, oh wow, I didn't even know I was doing that. And then
Mm,
I let him continue the range of motion, and I was like, oh, that's completely fine. Why was I resisting it in the first place?
yeah, absolutely. It's entering into the unknown, which can be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
I think this might be the last question that we take for today. But one of our friends says, greetings. How has practicing Traeger impacted your own body awareness and emotional well being? I like this one.
Um, I would say that like doing Traeger has made me realize like I just need to stay more relaxed. Like even situations like sitting down and like at the desk at school, like staying more relaxed and also having good postures too is like really important. Like within Traeger, like even
Stop judging me.
like in a session, we when the patient like sits up, we tell them to like have good posture and just keep that like the energy that we gave them, like to make sure like injuries or things like that don't happen again.
Mm-hmm. Fixed it. It was rude.
Good.
What would you say, Son?
Yeah, I would say it's helped me see how much I can have an impact on someone else's well-being. And then like I said before, it makes me have more experiences with patients. As far as my emotional well-being, like you said, it makes me more aware of myself, because with Traeger, unlike a lot of other modalities, you have to uh, come into it
Mm,
with a state of relaxation, with a focused mind. You can't come into it all flustered or
right.
feeling too erratic or things like that. So it helps keep me in check. It helps keep my emotional well-being in check, and helps me know that um, even later down the road, because the whole goal of this is to help other people. And if I can't have my own things in check, then how am I gonna be able to help anyone else? So it makes me more aware of that I have to be in line with myself, make sure I'm good before I can help anybody
Yeah,
else.
you
Mhm.
can't give from an empty glass, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight on
Thank
What's Up
you.
Wednesdays with the professionals of the roundtable. We have two fantastic budding professionals with us tonight. We will be here again next Wednesday. And of course, What's Up Wednesday is always brought to you by Healing Your Way. They do take insurance. Feel free to check them out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of the places. Give a call, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.